It's not true that we are building from the top to the down at all.
You've heard that criticism?
Yes, I've heard that criticism. I've heard so many people criticize this without even first seeking to understand what we are trying to do. Let me put this here on record and to comfort anybody watching at this point, that we are not doing the party structure election from the top down. If you look at the constitution of the New Patriotic Party, the party structure election, the presidential primary and the parliamentary primaries are different elections. The presidential primary is a separate election that is guided by Article 13 of our Constitution. The parliamentary primary is also separate, guided by Article 12.
I'm sorry not to cut you, but if you have the Daily Statesman paper, can you just put it on the screen? The Daily Statesman, my team. Vanessa, if you have the Daily Statesman, I don't know, newspaper, I don't know where I put it. Okay, it's here. But you can just hoist it on the screen for you to have maybe just a snapshot. Okay, because this is how it looks like. We have Kennedy Upon there. We have Bawumia there. And we have Brian Achampong also there. Please forget the Bank of Ghana governor sacking people. He's not part of the race.
It's also very important that he's sacking people.
No, but he's not part of the race. I'm talking about NPP. Okay. Or there are, aspirants in 100 people who were sacked.
No.
Okay, then.
Probably, you never know, it's NPP.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yes, so as I was saying, it's not like that. I think there's been like a deliberate attempt to muddy the very sensible strategy we proposed. I would like to assure people, all NPP members, all patriots, that this was not done in bad faith. This took very long hours. We worked on this for over 6 weeks, sitting around the table every day, bantering and speaking to each other to come to a consensus. We received over 300 proposals from the rank and file of the party, and we had to go over all these proposals to tease out what would work best for the party. And at every time, what was at the forefront of our mind was what was in the best interest of the party. So they should perish the thought that this is done to help candidate A or candidate B. It is not like that. If you look at it critically, you will see that all this approach does is to give whoever is elected a very solid footing to begin his campaign for 2028.
By using 6 months to campaign?
Yes.
6 months to campaign?
Yes. Do you need 1 year to campaign for an internal
election?
But
at some point, you stop them from campaigning and ask them not to make comments.
But constitution, you are given 6 months.
Or disadvantageously, Dr. Bawumia was with a thank you tour.
Yes.
And had been with you throughout the country, leading the tour.
Incumbency has an advantage. Incumbency anywhere.
How did he become incumbent? After election, he's not the leader of the party.
That's what I mean by incumbent. He's the immediate past flag bearer. So he has that. He had to go on it. Even with going on a thank you tour became a problem that people were complaining about.
Okay. The party has a constitution. After elections, the party chairman takes over.
That's actually not in the constitution, but let me just...
No, I'm saying that after election, the party chairman takes over the party as the leader.
And I'm saying even that is not something that is there. But what I was saying was that, Dr. Bao, you were talking about him going on the thank you tour and this and that. And I'm saying that they are definitely...
The thank you tour was not by Dr. Bawumia.
Oh, it was the party's
thank you tour.
Led by the flag bearer, because he was on the ballot. Let's allow me land. Nanado also went for a thank you tour. Let's not forget this. This action of going on a thank you tour is not new. This is not the first time it happened. So what I'm saying is that obviously there will be an advantage to being the flag bearer, the immediate past flag bearer. There's an advantage there. Per the constitution of the MPP, you are given 6 months notice. You have to give the party people 6 months notice. You have to give the aspirants 6 months notice. And in about a month, you close after filing and all of that. They're actually given 3 months to campaign. So it's not a problem that's not a problem at all. And the goal for the party is not just to do an internal primary, finish a flag bearership, and then we are on a wrong foot for Victory 2028. The goal of the party, all that we were thinking about, was how do we reorganize to be able to put our best foot forward for 2028. We all know what has been happening here, even looking at the direction you were going on with the thank you tour, and I'm sure it was fueled by a lot of criticisms that something as simple as a thank you tour for the MPP garnered. And it was all because of this internal anarchy and chaos over who becomes the next flag bearer. So isn't the wisest thing to do to get that election out of the way? How does that spoil anything?
You are saying that's the wisest. It's not the same
No, I'm
thoughts
saying
other members of the party are thinking.
No, and I'm telling you, majority members of the party agree with this. This decision was not made by the committee. This decision was not made by
How did you
NEC.
determine the majority?
The decision was made by the National Council of the party. The
Yes,
National
but how did
Council,
you determine the majority members of the party?
Let me land. The National Council of the party consists of, it's a large body, it's maybe about 70 to 100 people, rank and file of representatives from regions, regional chairmen, blah, blah, blah. It is literally the beating heart of the party. The proposal, the recommendation was tabled there. And I can tell you in confidence that there was a large majority, a whopping majority at National Council saw the need to bring sanity and unity into the party. And we all saw that the best way to achieve that is to get the presidential primaries out of the way and as quickly as possible to reduce the acrimony, and so that after that we have enough time to unite and to galvanize our base together and move forward. We also know, like, in which country is a power vacuum entertained? We all know our brothers in the UK, the Conservative Party. They lost power in July last year. By December this year, they had a leader. That's barely 7 months. So why should we wait for 2 years and everything, especially knowing everything we saw in the last election? His Excellency John Mahama was elected way before Dr. Bawumia. He had an opportunity to sell himself and warm his heart into the hearts of Ghanaians a very long time before we elected our flag bearer, and he could also start getting introduced and selling himself and gaining the trust indeed of the people of Ghana. Because the job of president is not an easy one. You have to let the Ghanaian people trust and believe in you, and that would take some time. So what is the problem? If the party has decided that we want to be able to give whoever wins the opportunity to have enough time to be able to explain themselves and sell themselves to the people of Ghana so that we have a better chance for 2028. I haven't heard any argument against this thing that even deserves a response from me. I don't know if you've heard anything that you want me to respond to. Yeah. It's always based on sentiments and what's not. And I'm explaining here that this approach does not give an advantage to anybody. Still, it is over 200,000 delegates that are going to vote. No matter how we do it, it's over 200,000 delegates that are going to vote. It's not a small number of people. And they are not people that are malleable or any, it's people that know what they are about and people that will listen and do the best thing for the party. So whether we do it now or we do it later, which is going to present whoever is elected as a disadvantage, what is the problem? It doesn't provide any advantage to anybody. The only advantage it does is whoever is elected after that has a better footing. But now, in this current contest, it doesn't put anybody above anybody. And I've not had any arguments to buttress the point of how the system will put any candidate above the other.
What made you write this? I absolutely agree with you. But here we have a candidate publicly flouting a party's directive to not campaign. Launching an absolutely brainless attack. We will not sit aloof.
That post has been taken down. I wonder who sent it to you.
Someone sent it to me. Yes, I don't have the permission to mention his name.
Yes, so I will not respond to that. It's been taken down.
Who took it down?
I took it down. It's my post.
Why did you take it down?
Because it had served its purpose. It's my wall. I decide what to put up.
What purpose was it supposed to serve?
I'm not answering that question.
Well, but unfortunately, I think it has gotten to people who you don't expect it will get to them.
Okay, so what question are they? What's their question on the post?
What purpose was it supposed to serve?
Because here it was a response to something. So I don't think the person sent you what I responded to.
No,
you can look at the nature of the post.
So I was even going to ask you, what were you responding to?
Yes, so I don't have the record. That's what I'm saying. It's been taken down. So it was a response to something. So since we don't have the full account.
But do you remember what you were responding to?
No.
You don't remember?
No, I don't
Are you
remember.
Sure you don't recall?
I don't remember.
But you recall you pulled it down?
Yes.
How is that possible?
My post I remember, but I don't remember exactly what it is I was responding to. But I can tell you what I was responding to deserved that response.
I see. Do you want me to read it again?
You can read. I wrote it. I stand by it. But we are in a point where we are trying to bring unity. So what's the point of the person sending this?
What will you stand by what you wrote today, tomorrow, and forever, and you pull it down?
Because I don't work in a vacuum. I work in a political party. So if something comes up and you're advised that for the sake of this and that, we don't want you to write that. Well, I'm not about pulling it down. But I still don't understand the point of this. So the person wants you to ask me what so that I can respond.
No question was asked. The person just sent me the post.
So for what purpose? What does the person...
You are making a submission.
Yes. So how does this relate to my submission?
But if your submission is, I absolutely agree with you, but there was... here we have a candidate publicly flouting the party's directive not to campaign, launching an absolute brainless attack. We will not sit aloof. That's an insult.
How does this have to, what does this have to do?
It's an insult.
So what's the point of this, Annie? What does this have to do with the question I was answering?
You were obviously in your post insulting or attacking a party's, I don't know, whoever was launching a campaign or whatever.
It was in response to something. And it's, if you look at it carefully, I don't see how it's an insult. It is, if you are what you are discussing, if what you are describing is brainless, brainless was in respect to the attack, not the person. Yes.
Okay.
It was in respect to the person, to the word, the attack, not the person. So I don't know what anybody stands to gain. And again, this exactly buttresses my point. I'm sure this is from a party person. We are sitting here talking about so many things. Galamsey is on the rise. There are so many things to hold the NDC accountable for. But a party person sees it right to send you this without a response while I'm on set defending the NPP.
That party also deems it right to put his home in order before he can actually launch
so this is what we are doing, to try and put our home in order. But till we elect the leader, factions or supporters of various candidates are not going to stop coming at each other. But I don't see how this is relevant.
Okay.
I don't see how this is relevant.
Okay.
And this is exactly what we are trying to stop.
Okay.
So that means for about over a year, there will be a section of people in the party that will do everything they can to bring out the system of the party. Okay. We've seen so many attacks come out, the structure at the party, come at the leadership of the party, come at everybody in the party. And we want all of that to stop. And I'm quite happy that this happened.
So this is a question that's coming to you. Please ask her the membership of the National Council. You didn't add your name. Please ask her the membership of the National Council. Does she realize that the National Council acts on delegated powers of the National Conference of over 4,000 delegates? Our internal election processes are rooted in Constitution, and the National Council can't vary it via conference alone. Without first amending the party's constitution, the argument for top-bottom approach is moot.
Who sends this? Annie, so I'm very happy that this is already happening, because this is obviously everything that has happened here this morning is from a section of supporters of a certain candidate in the party. No, they would not take up the responsibility to come and sit on this platform and to have intellectual and effective debates with very qualified people from the NDC's path. They will not hold the fort of the NPP going forward. But whatever we try to do, you build 100 blocks and their best effort is to try and pull it down. Sitting here and with everything that has happened, do you agree that the best thing for us to do is to get this out of the way so that we can then become one people and move forward?
Okay.
Just even from what has happened, and I'll answer the question with the constitution of the party. As I said, there's a lot of misinformation out there. As I told you, Article 13 guides the presidential primary of the party. I'm going to read 13.1 for you. The election of the party's presidential candidate shall be held not later than 24 months from the date of the national election. The date and venue for the election shall be decided by the National Council, provided, however, that the National Council may on appropriate occasion vary the dates. So it's very clear here that the National Council of the party
can vary the dates.
No, they have the responsibility to set the time. And then the time frame is not later than 24 months before. So we are within that. So I don't know what all of this is about.
Yes, but the point this person was making is that he said, does she realize that the National Council acts on delegated powers from the National Conference, over 40,000 delegates?
In the NPP
your internal election processes are rooted in the Constitution, and National Council can't vary it, but via conference alone, without first amending
It's okay.
Now he can't
ask him
to
quote the article in the Constitution where he's referencing.
The party doesn't want any dissenting voices. Tell her Article 10, conjunctively, with Article 13. So conjunct Article 10 with 13,
Annie,
and
Annie,
maybe you have
Annie,
a constitution and read.
Annie,
But let me
let
add
me
some
land.
more. Let me add some more. This one, Guy G sent it to me. He said, kindly inform Ekua Amoakoh, who was part of the NPP Amendment Committee, to communicate in an open and truthful way that that's constructive and respectful, irrespective of her bias towards Dr. Bawumia. How could you say a presidential candidate is launching an absolutely brainless attack? She is a young lady in a game of politics, and she should tread cautiously. Gaji from cantonment. Okay, so he's actually speaking from what I read earlier. So there's a post of, I think yours he sent. He says that Dr. Kennedy Japan could not deliver his own seat in 2024. Why on earth should the entire NPP be handed over to him?
Yes, that's also an insult. I don't understand what's going on.
No, I think this one, he's just trying to point out your bias.
No, so I don't understand. Point out my bias as a party person who is sitting here representing the party. I don't know if everybody's seeing the absolute madness that's already happening here just on the show.
But you see, if they see a clear bias of you, a clear bias of yours towards a particular flag bearer, and then you are also the same person defending the decision of the party, that is more like a conflict of interest for them, and it's unfair to them. That's why they would say that the decision of the party from the top, bottom, down approach, whatever it is to the benefit of one flag bearer, which is Dr. Bawumia.
Let me explain. I've already told you that it's the same electoral college. It is an expanded electoral college. It's the same electoral college that Honorable Kennedy Japan used 2 years ago or something, and after he said he was convinced that the result of the election was clean. It was the same electoral college, and it's the same electoral college now.
Okay.
The Constitution Amendment Committee is a committee of 9 people, astute people. I was the youngest person. When this post that they are trying to use was even brought up, the job of the committee was done. Everybody in the party has a right to support whoever it is they want to support. So you cannot say that there's a bias.
Yeah.
I already sat here and I told you that no decision was even unanimous. It was, I'm talking about the committee level now. Everything was reached out after a lot of back and forth and trying to decide what is best for the party. I also said that after the committee's report, this decision was brought to National Council. You said, let me give you the composition of National Council. It is the National Executive Committee of the party. That's all the national officers, blah, blah, blah. Council of Elders, 20 reps from Parliament. There are the regional reps there, the regional chairman, regional secretary. It's a large body. They all debated this matter and came to a conclusion. So even if you want to say that because I worked for Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia during the last election, from what I said, how do you say that? How do you determine my bias? I could be working for Honorable Brian Echampong. In fact, I think he's a fine gentleman. I could be seeking for Honorable Brian Echampong. Someone said something. There was a post that I responded to. And if you saw how unpalatable that post I responded to was, you would understand. And if you read my response, my point was from the position of the party.
You may be supporting this one.
I'm just saying, you cannot say that because I questioned somebody, I'm supporting A. What about B? I could be for Honorable Brian Echampong.
Okay.
And I said the directive from the party was that nobody.
So someone
the Pandora's box. So
listen. Listen. First, you will like what I'm going to say, Sha. Listen. Someone says Annie. No, in fact, the person calls me Ekua. He says, Ekua, you're not being fair to Dr. Ekua Amoakoh. I agree. I'm not being fair to you.
So let me land.
So let's cut it.
No, you've opened Pandora's
Oh
box.
no,
so
your time is up.
Let me explain it well because Annie, it's very important that you allow me to explain.
No,
this.
land.
So if you go against the directive of the party and you go and do something, and in that campaign you actually go a little beyond to throw around some comments that we find will bring the image of the entire party into disrepute, I have every right as a member of the party to vent my frustration. You might not be happy with how far I went, but to use that to try and paint me with some bias and then immediately attach a particular candidate as that direction of that bias, it doesn't hold any water. I could be, my favorite candidate or my prepared candidate could be Honorable Educhum. It could be Honorable Brian Echampong. It could be Joe Gate. It could be anybody.
Had Joe Gate declared?
No, I'm just saying because he contested the first time. It could be anybody.